everybody. Let me turn it up a little bit. Hello. I am just going to draw something. It's a little hard to show drawings when you're doing a live, so I'll do what I can. I'm just waiting for a few more people. It sounds good. Thanks, Nicole. I might make you pop in here and talk to me, if you don't mind. It'd be good to have a chat with you. Thanks for joining. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes, see who else is here. You all come on in. Hello. Hi. I haven't done a live. I don't even know. I can't even tell you the last time I did. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I don't even know. I used to go live on Periscope. Anybody here remember Periscope? That was my jam when Periscope was around. But yeah. Anyway, seems like looks like we're all gonna be here. I was gonna be here for now. Wanted to start talking to you a little bit about what I'm doing. I have been coaching artists since 2016, and yeah, heart to art, absolutely. Thanks for coming, everybody. All right, get some more people coming in. Yeah, I started coaching artists in 2016, and it was a complete surprise. It wasn't something that I planned. I had a studio in downtown LA. Hey, Nikki. And I was just doing my thing, and I don't know, this woman found me. She was in Los Angeles. She found me online somehow, and she's like, sent me an email. She goes, I really need your help. I need you to coach me. I want to get out of this current work situation I'm in and into something much more free and creative. And next thing you know, she's in my studio every week working with me. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was like, we're going to wing this. We're going to figure this out. And she was willing to go on the journey. And it was about six weeks later. A lot of tears, a lot of, frustrating times, a lot of realizations for her and me. We're not just talking about her, we're talking about me too. And, it was a transformation, unbelievable transformation. And hopefully maybe she's here today. I'm not sure. But I was really surprised with everything I knew how to do and didn't realize it at the time. And I had already been, working as a creative professional for, I don't know, at that point, maybe like 15 years. So I just kind of put everything I knew out there and helped her. And next thing you know, she's getting an art show. She's in an art show. She's getting some illustration jobs, some really fun projects. It was wild. It was a wild transformation to go on with her. And it really taught me a lot too about my capabilities and what I can do and what I knew how to do and didn't realize it because I'd never had the opportunity to work with somebody one-on-one before. And from then I kind of hit the ground running and, I just said, hey, anybody want to work with me? I can help you out. And then here we are 7 years later, and I don't know how many people I've been working with, and I work one-on-one with artists from all over the world. So Canada, Taiwan, New Zealand, Australia, a lot of people in the UK, and a lot of people in the US, it goes on and on. I'm always surprised when someone in Tel Aviv, I worked with a woman in Tel Aviv, surprised when people find me, and it's always great because I always feel like they're my people and we resonate with one another, and it's always been just a really lovely surprise. And there is always a lot of light bulb moments that happen, and that's what I look for when I coach for people. I'm waiting for that. I'm like, is there something I said that's going to hit, and when is that moment going to hit them? And when is everything just going to open up? And it does every single time. And sometimes it's a small moment that leads to a bigger moment. And sometimes it's this just big moment. And that is where the energy and the juice and the excitement just starts. Everything just turns around from there. And, they're just ready to go. Do it and make it happen. And that is the point I like I said, look forward to. And I absolutely, it's what I love working with artists one-on-one, because that transformation is everything. That moment and that of realization and that breakthrough is everything. And how I do that, it's different for everyone. Sometimes it is really going back to basics, and I'm a big advocate for that. Going back to basics means going back to just drawing, just sketching, just thinking out ideas, and also thinking really big. Like, where do you want to go with all this? Like, I think sometimes we get stuck in the minutia of things, and where everything is so like day-to-day small, that we just want to solve these little problems, and we're not really thinking about what we're trying to do in the big picture, right? So what I do is I really want you to think, we start really broad, and then we kind of focus on what can we do right now, and how can we start chipping away to get to that future goal. And it really does take a big step back so you can start moving forward. And not everybody has to step back as far as others. And I can kind of assess that as we're going along and see, like, it's also a mental game, like where you are mentally. So maybe you are just stuck in the day-to-day and you're in your head and you can't move forward, or maybe you're a little bit more open, but you're still something holding you back. So we try to figure out what that is, and that's when that light bulb moment happens, and that's when it's like we're off and running. So I do a lot of talking with you. We'll talk through things, and I do pay attention to everything you're saying to me, and I kind of put it all together. And I've probably been there, done that, or I've seen people in the same position you are in. So it's easy for me to kind of identify where you might be on your journey. And then from there, I have tools and all the tools you need to move forward. And again, sometimes it's mindset stuff. Sometimes we're literally talking about mindset stuff. So, and it could just really just be that. It's not always your work. It really isn't your work. Everybody needs permission too. Permission to just hear, to be heard, and to know that they're on the right track and they're doing the right things. I think a lot of artists, we work alone. Whether you're a writer or whatever, you're working alone and you're in a vacuum, and you're not always, trusting yourself and trusting your abilities. And I think it's great to have other people to talk to, other artists who have, or might be going through the same thing or have been there already, right? And just being able to talk through these things is so huge, and it just allows that weight to come off, and to have somebody on the other end receiving that, and also to say, I hear you, but also do the things that you want to do. Here's your permission slip to go for it. And that's a lot of what I do, is really just listen and give permission. Because once we start talking, you start opening up and you start showing me your work, and we start going through all the big goals and everything, I always hear in there like, oh, this is where I want, or this is where, oh, I want to do this, or it's like, do it. You can do it. I'm giving you permission to do it. But also I see that you have the ability to do it. And maybe that's part of it too. Maybe you just need somebody to validate that. And that's where the group coaching comes in. That's where I feel like you will get a group of people, your peers, to actually give you all permission in a chorus, to actually be able to cheer you on and to be there for you, and to be there for the several months on your journey with you. And that really props you up more than anything. I did a mastermind last year for the first time, and it was a year-long mastermind, and having 29 people in the mastermind to cheer you on, give you advice, prop you up, help you with whatever you need, give you their tools and their resources and their help. Oh my gosh, it moves you along so much faster. It gets you unstuck twice as fast. And it gives you the tools and the resources you need just to keep going. And they're just kind of end up being speed bumps. It's not like you're stuck in a hole. You're like, I'm out of here. I'm out of the hole, and I'm moving beyond that. And so that's what I really love about groups and small groups. And not big groups are great too. And that big group was great. But within the big group, you're always going to find your people. You're always going to find, and that's in a small group too. You'll find the people you resonate with the most. And I'm really going to work on curating these groups too. So they will be, the work that we do together will be complementary to one another. Can be paired up together and help one another. I want to really bring back an art school dynamic that I don't see on online teaching at all, and even in coaching programs. There's a lot of artists out there who are doing great, and they have never taken an art class, a formal art class in person before. I've had so many years of those, and I can go back and say there's always a few of those teachers that were just horrible. But there's so much that I've learned being in those group dynamics. You learn something from everyone in the group, whether you realize it or not. You are picking up on their strengths and their weaknesses, and you see what you want to go and you don't want to do, and all the things, all the good and bad, and as well as just learning from watching them. I've watched people paint in a painting class, and I picked up tips just from standing there watching them. It's like, oh my gosh, I never thought to approach it that way, or blend paint that way, or use this brush, or but just watching and observing, or just talking to them, there's just so much more growth that happens rapidly. Also, just having the support, having the talks, having the critiques. The critiques are big. You work alone, you don't get critiques, right? You just edit yourself and you put it out in the world, and it's nice to have somebody to show your work to. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you, I have to do that. I have to show work to people. I'm stuck. What do I do? So having a group and me there to help you do that is going to also help you move forward a lot faster, and also give you tips and techniques and things you may not have thought of. I like to push people a little bit and get them out of their comfort zones, and there may be a technique that I can see that might work really well for their style. And maybe you need to try oil pastels, or maybe it's time to pick up a marker or some ink and add some marks and things to your work. So you never know where it can go, and this trying new supplies and new materials is really gonna also give you a whole new perspective on your work and how you can approach it differently. So there's, oh my gosh, I can go on and on about all the things that I teach showing people. I also love to open up your digital files and work on them in real time. So if you have a piece or a pattern or something and you're stuck on it, or you don't know how to develop it further, I'll work with my clients. They'll put it in a Dropbox, I'll open it up, and in real time, I'll just go right in and start working on it. And that's also a really great way to see things, see how I work, and to see the technique in real time. And I've taught people how to do compositions that way, how to do color, recolor their work, color harmony, also find the balance within the pieces. And it's really just about moving things around and finding that really beautiful moment that will happen when you do that and you fuss with it, right? So I will definitely be doing a lot of demos, training, also not just on your work, but also your business. So if there are things that you want to learn, whether it's social media or it's sales and marketing or income stream, hello, hi, I'll be able to help you with that too. So does anyone have any questions? I don't see any questions in the question section. If you do, you can hit the little question thing. And I realized I didn't plug in my phone, so I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm going to plug it in. But send me some questions if you have any. Write them in. All right. Some water, I'm back. Okay, now my phone's not going to die. All the things you forget when you don't go live. Okay, no questions. That's fine. I'll just keep talking. I really just want to bring everything that I've been doing to the table and in a group, and show artists, and help them collectively with the things that I think that I can really help them with the most. And in 3 months, we can do a lot together. I also want to bring in guest speakers who know things better than I do, because I'm not an expert in social media. I'm not an expert in sales and marketing. So I definitely have some peeps that can come on in and give you some tips. I also have worksheets and all sorts of videos I've made and training videos over the years that I eventually will put a course together, because there are a lot of things I've been really thinking about in the last couple of years on how I can package all my knowledge up and get it out into the world. And for me, I think my strength is in design and design techniques, and even being an efficient designer and getting things done quickly and making edits and knowing your strengths and being able to work through a project and get through it without a lot of roadblocks and challenges. I feel like I've been really honing in on that over the years, no matter if I work in-house or have my own projects. Just kind of been up against the same things over and over again, and now I kind of know how to move through those. So I can definitely guide you through any challenges you're having on projects, whether it's, not sure how to approach it, not sure how to finish it, not sure if it even looks right, not sure how to work with the client and get them what they need and communicate with them properly. It could even be things like money, budgets, those kind of things. So I definitely have a lot of experience with that, and I can definitely move you along. So we're going to be covering a lot of things, and I really am excited to do this, and I'm excited to bring a group together and really kind of work with you. You will work with me individually too. So the first call is with me before we work as a group, and then I need to get all the information out of y'all, and then I'm going to put the class together right after I talk to everybody specifically about, more in depth about the application that you sent. And if you've seen it, there's a lot of questions on there. It's a little long, but it's on purpose because I do need to get as much information as possible so we can then move forward and I can, curate the group. So, but I do want to know about like your dreams and your challenges and where your strengths lie and where you need help, and also, and just, where I can really, like, why you're here and like why I can help you the most and why you do what you do, right? Like, because we're all artists for a reason. So, okay, I see some questions coming through. Will you have working sessions with the group, painting, sketching, brainstorming? Absolutely. Absolutely. They were 100%. So, and I really, like I said, I want it to feel like an art class. I want us to have critiques and show our work and show our progress, and everybody collectively talk about it and lean on one another, and of course with my guidance. But I think there's going to be a lot of, strengths within the group, and we need to all come together and help one another. Painting, sketching, brainstorm, all the things. Tutorials, I will show you tutorials. Like I said, I will paint on screen. I can paint. If the group does a lot of hand work, then I will be working with you by hand. If the group is more digital, we'll probably do more digital. But I do both. So it's always like a nice way to show. There's ways I can show you how to achieve certain styles and looks doing both, if that's necessary to show you all that. Brainstorming, 100%. If you're stuck or you're not sure where to go with your career, or you're at a certain place where you need to pivot or whatever, we're all going to talk about that. So not just the things that I'm going to help you with like on the call, but we're also going to like bring it to the table. I want to do hot seats too. So if anyone in the group is feeling bold, or maybe I'll even bring it up, I want us to all have a group discussion about a challenge that someone's going through or something they need help with. So there will be brainstorming sessions, accountability. I want you all to stay on track and get things done by the end of the 3 months. So there will be accountability, and I will be making you pair off into accountability partners. So there'll be a lot of teamwork and training, like you said, as well. How much work should you have developed before beginning? So this is not for beginners at all. If you're a beginner, it's going to be hard to come into the group dynamic if you don't have a body of work to show, or some things to talk about regarding your business or your career at this point. So if you're brand spanking new, this isn't for you, and I'm sorry, but this really is for people who have started their career, or started trying to achieve some of their goals at this time. Maybe they're pitching their artwork, or they're submitting it to art directors, or whatever that is, but they have a body of work that they've already begun working on, developing, and they have maybe even just a few things that they feel really comfortable with pitching or showing to the world. So it's not the absolute beginning, but somebody in the middle, somebody who's beyond the beginning stages of working. So I do need to see a body of work to get an idea of your style and what you're doing. And we need to talk about that and what you want to do with it. So maybe you have a handful of pattern collections or some or not 2 or 3 illustrations is not enough. Like, I really need to see more than that. So maybe you've been drawing and painting for a long time. I love to see your early work too. That is super helpful to me. So if you have done work in the past, what I can kind of see is the evolution of your style. And I like to go back to the early years. So even if you have an Instagram that you've been posting artwork on for years, I go to the beginning and I can see how it's changed over time. And that's what I mean by going back to the basics, because I will actually walk you back to those early years if I see something that was really incredible that you're not doing anymore. And I can tell you every single time I brought that up to someone, they're like, oh, that was my favorite piece. Oh, I had so much fun making that. Or that was my first piece. I hear that a lot too. And for some reason, it's just the best thing I see that you've done in a long time. So maybe you're still doing good work, but there's just something super special about that early stuff that you just have not been able to recreate that magic. And so we'll go back to that and examine it. And we'll figure out what you were doing then that you could bring that secret sauce into what you're doing now. Because I think as we start working on our work and we get influenced by other styles and things we see out in the world, and or new techniques or new apps that are out or whatever, our style will change. So and I think it's really important to take that walk down memory lane a little bit and look and review and see how you started, because it really does inform a lot about your style and what you're doing now and where you should be going to. Any other questions? Those are good questions. Thank you. You good? Feel free to put it in the comments or put it in the question section. Yeah, so I don't want to stay on here too long, but I do want to just address some of these things, and if anybody had any questions about the group. But and I'm really excited about this. I am. It's just, again, it's a small group, so it's only under 10. I have a few applications in right now, and the application deadline is Thursday noon my time, Los Angeles time, which would be 3:00 Eastern time. But I'm really not that strict about it. If you get it in on Thursday, it's fine. So I was just hoping to extend it from the night before, which was the deadline the night before. So I'm going to give people a little more time because of the holiday weekend. I completely forgot when I set that deadline that there was a holiday. So I want to give another day. So just Thursday, get it in on by Thursday, that would be great. And then I will be reading them over the weekend, and excuse me, and the following week I'll be able to get the word out to those that are in the group. And if you didn't know, I also still do one-on-ones. So if you want an hourly call with me, I will look at your work or help you with whatever you need. I love doing hourly calls. I still have that on my website, as well as I will take maybe 1 or 2 people, depending on how busy this is looking, for long-term packages. So if you don't want the group dynamic and you just want one-on-one with me, also on my website, you'll see that it's under the coaching tab, JannettaGonzalez.com coaching, and then you'll see the work with me section, and that will talk to you, explain to you the one-on-one. So it's the hourly calls or the long-term long-term one-on-one with me, and that is usually 4 sessions or 6 sessions, and you just get 2 more sessions. And it's depending on how much time you really need to achieve that goal that we're working on together. So check that out. So I am offering one-on-one as well as group right now, but not as many. I can do plenty of hourly, but the one-on-one long-term package, I can only do like maybe 1 or 2 of those. And that will start in March too. So if you want to get not application, but if you want to chat with me about that, feel free to send me an email, DM, all the things, but the info's on the website. Great. Oh, is there another question? Yeah. handouts, PDFs to recap the sessions or to supplement the materials, downloads to refer to later. Oh, absolutely. So I give a lot of resources when you work with me, a lot. Links, PDFs, all the things. So I'm kind of like your Google. So if you need help with something, a technique, a trick, a tip, whatever, I'll put it in a short video and send it to you so you can watch it and do it again. Especially if it's a technique, you gotta see it. If there's something we're working on and we need to think it out, write it out, go through steps, you'll get PDFs and worksheets, handouts, things like that. Absolutely. I always make those. And everything will be recorded in our calls, and then you'll have the handouts as well to work on. So I do like writing things out too. So there'll be times you'll have homework where you have to write things out and think things through. I want you guys to really, really take that step back and really assess things and like what's working, what's not working, or let me brainstorm on paper. Let me think this out on paper. Let me write out my mindset shifts on paper, because sometimes it's like you're stuck in one spot and you can't get through it, and it might just be as simple as writing it out, thinking it out on paper, journaling basically. So I'm big on journaling prompts. You'd be surprised if you haven't done it, how helpful it can be just to, not type on your computer, not type on your phone, but actually write things on a piece of paper and get it out of your head. So yeah, that's great. Thank you for the questions. Any other questions? We good? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. I will be back on here tomorrow at 11 a.m. And that is my time. So Los Angeles time, PST. And I guess that's 2 o'clock Eastern. So you'll see me here. I also am going to be on Zoom tomorrow, and that's going to be later in the day. And I believe that's at 2 my time. Yeah, 2 my time, which is 5 p.m. And I will go ahead and put it in the stories, and I'll have a link to the Zoom. So if you want to join me there tomorrow, I invited my email list. So I am reminding my email list about it, and I sent them the link as well. So if you're not my email list, jump on my email list, and I'll send a reminder out as well. So you'll get it on all the places. But I will put it on stories after this, so you can just click the link, and there'll be a passcode for this. So make sure you write that down, or you get the passcode so you can enter into the Zoom. And it'll be similar to this though, but I think because it's Zoom, I'll be able to have 2 cameras, and I can draw and also answer your questions and things tomorrow. So Zoom will be a little easier. But tomorrow I'll come back on to answer more questions. If I didn't answer your questions, or if you're coming in late, feel free to DM me your questions. I love being able to answer them. And even if you have questions about your own work or art or just in general, I can do some live coaching. So that'll be really fun. So if you have anything you want to chat about, let me know. And maybe I'll bring in a friend or 2 tomorrow too. So I'm kind of on the fly, but I think it'll be cool. So anyway, all right, I'll see y'all later. Thank you so much for being here. Bye. See if I can figure out how to shut this thing off. There we go.